How you doing, guys? I got a set of Duramax heads here off of LML. I've been home porting them. I don't know most of the heads online. Any information I find, everybody CNC ported them. When you get to the intake side, you'll be able to see why they're CNC ported. They need to all flow the same. I put most of my time here on the exhaust side. As you can see, the gasket is still considerably larger than the port. I probably push this side, the left side, probably 10 thousandths that way. And I push this side over here, probably around 20 thousandths, maybe a little bit more. I think the port still is wider down there where the two valves are than it is out at the end. But I pushed it 20 to 30 thousandths going towards the rear of the engine on both cylinder heads. I'll take the gasket off now. I don't know if you've seen, but it's really tight. It's really tight on a factory head up there where them valve guides come through. There's not much. I have a lot of glare on the bottom here. There's not much room in there, so I smoothed around the guides. I pushed the walls out just a little bit. I probably ground about 10 thousandths off the top. I tried to not lower the floor at all. I probably did. The short sides here are really nice and super smooth on both of them, the front one and the back one. I'll flip it up here. So that's the same exhaust port we were just looking at. From the factory, this is so tight up here that my finger would only go to about right here. So it's way considerably larger on the short side, and with that valve support ground away a little bit on both of them. So the exhaust, I think, is going to flow a whole lot better than it did from the factory. One question I have is right here where this closest valve is, the furthest one away, it's a straight shot. It's a total straight shot. The floor is a little bit lower, but when it gets up into say this area right here on this side, this floor goes up probably 30-40 thousandths right there. It looked like some of the aftermarket ones that this is just flat across, that there's not this hump right there. I left it in there because I wasn't totally sure exactly what it's for. They all have it, so I left it in there. They're all about the same. I tried to grind all of them. You know, so the exhaust side is really the same. I tried to take 10 off of one side, and it was either 20 or 30 off the other side. I tried to make all the valve, where all the valve stems came through, they look exactly the same. So they all still have this hump in the floor right there. That's exactly how it looks from the factory. It's way smoother. Short side up in here is way smoother than it was from the factory. I rolled it down some so it's nice and smooth, but it's still there. So that's the only question I have here. If you guys want to make a comment or something, I'd like to kind of know what that's for, or if it gets ground out, or if nobody even ever has done these before at home. I looked online, and really I could find not very much information unless you wanted to spend the money and send them out and get them done. So I got little tidbits here or there. I didn't de-shroud the valves on some of the heads that I saw, The valve was literally flush on all these. There is tapered back just a little teeny bit, so I didn't do anything with that. I have seen these de-shrouded, just a small amount on these. I wasn't gonna mess with them. I already got the sandpaper a little bit on a couple of the valve seats. It's really tight down there on the intake side, so I'm gonna lap them out tomorrow, see how that comes out before I send them into the machine shop. This is the intake side here. I watched quite a bit of videos and different things on the intake side, and really it doesn't seem like I can get much information from anybody on this either. I'm trying to get the light here. So this is the long runner right here. There's a long one and then there's a short one. So the long one is literally a straight shot, and then it goes up there and it gets so skinny, like super skinny up in there. And I beveled these out here just a little teeny bit. Gale Banks had a video. He talked about some people doing this. He didn't think it made a difference. So I did do it, but not as much as other people. And then I tried to just get the rough casting sanded down, but truthfully, it turns so abruptly right there that it's impossible to get to. And it's so long up through there. It's probably like 6 inches long to get through there. That's why they CNC them. I didn't want to change how the port flows or the velocity. So there wasn't really a lot I could do on these intakes. I polished them the best as I could. I use this right here. It's a piece of plastic coated cable, a piece of PEX over it with sandpaper taped on the end. I'll show you the bowl. The bowls, I did not get them super smooth on the intake side. I don't know if you can even see them really. My flashlight's going dead. So I cleaned the bowls up. There was on these intakes, there was a hump down in there. There was a hump in there, right? Probably something to do with the casting. I think it was on the shorter side. I ground that out. So they're pretty smooth. They're pretty smooth there, but they don't look as pretty as I would have liked them made. I have probably about 17 hours into these heads. And really the only question I have, I'm going to send them to the machine shop to get them decked. The only question I really have is if you guys remove that and grind that down flat, or if you widen this out any. Like, I'd like to know real numbers, like flow numbers or dyno numbers from somebody who've done these at home. Dyno numbers. There's no dyno numbers for if you put Wagler head, just pull yours off and put Wagler ones on, or Eldebrock ones. So I'm just looking to see if anyone has actually purchased them, done an exact swap, dynoed it before and after without changing their tune, if they got more miles to the gallon. Mostly, it makes enough power. I'm hoping to get, they say some of them are getting 3 miles to the gallon better with ported heads, so I was hoping to get 2 or 3 miles to the gallon better. Thanks.